Welcome Info 1060 students to another great lesson and class here in spreadsheets. So this is the instruction video for assignment number 2, and the first thing that we're going to look at today is grid lines. Now, to find grid lines, I want you to go to the Layout tab in Excel, and you will notice here under View that there's a checkbox called grid lines, and if you click that checkbox, I want you to notice what happens down in the actual spreadsheet. It turns them off. We'll leave them on for right now, but what I would like you to turn off is the headings in print. You will notice that it is showing the A, B, C for the columns and also the numbers for the rows, and I want to shut those off. So if you can click that box to shut them off. If you'd also like to increase the size of the document to maybe 125% or something, just so you can see what you're working on a little bit better, that would be just fine. The second thing we're going to discuss today and talk about is applying borders. So if you could go back to the Home tab, and if you hover over this box right here, you'll notice that it's the Apply Borders function in Excel. I want you to make cell A1 active by clicking on it, and then subsequently go and add a thick box border to A1, and then click off of it. Now you'll notice the cell went from having nothing around it to having a thick black border. So that's quite interesting, quite nice. Now another thing I want to highlight your attention to is you can also at the bottom here change what the border may look like. These are just kind of the generic template version ones, but you can also customize them a little bit. Say you wanted to have a dotted line. Now you can't just click OK and it makes the change. You have to go in and click each border that you would actually like to be dotted, such as that. So now we can do it, and you'll notice that Holly's Crafts has the dotted border around it. Okay, now we want to talk a little bit about copying cells. So if you could highlight cell A1 again and right click, or you can also go up to edit here, and Command C would also copy it, but any way you want to do it, we can do this. And we can see we're going to copy it, and then I want you to select A4 and right click or Control V, or going up to the edit menu here and pulling down would also work, but I prefer to right click. And on a MacBook or a Mac computer, anything that has a trackpad, that's done with putting 2 fingers down on the trackpad and clicking. And so I want you to just paste that there as well. And you'll notice that it pastes everything. It pastes even the border. So it copies everything and pastes everything. So this is what that will look like. So now that we've completed that, I want to look at renaming worksheets. And so this whole document is called an Excel workbook. But within a workbook, there customarily comes worksheets. And you'll notice down at the bottom here, we have sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. And you can see that these are new sheets to work with. Okay, this one looks a little bit different, and I do want to show you why that it does. We're looking at it in page layout view. If you look at the normal view, it looks a little bit different. But we'll keep it in page layout, that's fine. So what we want to do is we want to give these sheets a name. Okay, so let's call the first one, and this is done by right-clicking, and we want to rename this thing. So you'll notice that it highlights it. So because this is a page layout view, let's call it page layout. So this sheet is called the page layout sheet. Okay, and then you just click off of it, and it's called that. Let's call sheet 2 the hide page. So let's go ahead and rename that one. Hide page. And I spelt it wrong, so I'll have to go back and make sure that's an H instead of a J. Sheet 3, let's just name this one the fun page. And you can see what happens when you're not on. There we go. The fun page. Okay, so look at that. We have 3 renamed sheets within this workbook. Now, in order to add a worksheet into a workbook, you can add a whole bunch, innumerable, I think. You just click this little button here, and then it goes back to sheet 1. So instead of being called sheet 1, let's call it sheet 4, because in fact that's what it is. And then we have sheet 2, which is kind of funny, but we'll leave it like that. So you're going to have 5 pages or sheets within this Excel workbook. Now I want to teach you how to hide a workbook, or a worksheet within Excel. So let's go to the hide page, click on it, and you can right click that as well, and right down here it says hide. So now you'll notice that there's a sheet that's missing. Let's also hide sheet number 2. Okay, so now there's only 3 sheets down there, so that's interesting. But they're still there. It doesn't delete them, it just hides them. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to go down here to Fun Page, right click, and you can duplicate certain pages. Okay, so how to do that is you press Move or Copy, and you can create a copy of the Fun Page, for example, and click Create a Copy, and that is just virtually duplicating a sheet. So we have Fun Page 1, the one that we initially created, and Fun Page 2, which is our copy. So let's rename that actually to Fun Page Copy, just so we're not confused on which one. Or let's name it Duplicate actually, because that's the proper name for it. Fun Page Duplicate. Okay, so if you're wondering how to unhide certain pages, you would then go unhide, and then you will choose which one. So let's unhide sheet number 2 and leave hide page as hidden. Okay, so that's interesting. We now have those pages. We have one hidden, we've renamed them, and we've duplicated. So that is very interesting. Now that we've done that, let's go on to adding a background. Okay, and this is done. We'll go to the main. This is the Home tab, in the toolbar kit. Let's go to the Layout tab, and you'll notice right here there is a icon that says it's a background. And I've also provided with you on our class site a picture that you can use for this background, so it'll look exactly like mine because I've done the exact same thing. And now what I want you to do is I want you to go to Downloads, because that's probably where it is if you've downloaded it onto this computer, and click basketball icon. And now you can see that we've input a background here. Just on the page layout though, it doesn't continue on to go to other pages. So we put a background there. But now let's also put a background on Fun Page. And let's do it from the basketball icon as well. So interestingly enough, there you go, you've got a background on the Fun Page, not on the Fun Page duplicate, and also on the page layout. Okay, I don't really like it on the page layout. So in order to remove that background, you just click it again. Okay, so we still have it on the Fun Page, and we don't have it on page layout, but that's okay if it's still on the Fun Page. We want to leave it there. Alright, so that's very interesting. So once you've done all of those things, I want you to please save the document. So to refresh your memory, go File, Save As. And I want you to call this Assignment 2. INF 1060, because that's the course, followed by a brackets, your first and your last name. Okay, and then you can save it to your desktop or you can save it to wherever, and be sure to email me a copy so that I can grade it. Alright, that's it for today, and thanks for paying such great attention. See you in class.